Well, hello friends, and welcome to another WSIB Truth Matters with Joe Machado, where I separate the truth from bullshit, facts from fiction, in plain English. Today I'm going to share some stuff with you that you've probably never heard before, and it's going to be very enlightening as to what's really going on here with the union and the WSIB and the fat cats. So without any further delay, let's get at it. Well, friends, we're now entering the 6th week of this strike. A lot's been said, but if you read any of the news media and some of the statements by the union, the only party that really is doing any talking is the union. And they've been right up front with what they want. They want more pay to be in line with inflation, which isn't unreasonable, as I indicated in my prior video. They want more training so they can do their job better, more effectively. And they want smaller caseloads, which again allows them to do their job more efficiently. Because they can really consider all of the factors in any particular claim and any issue that is being requested and render a decision that's based on the facts, based on the law and policy. Yes, we all know that there's bad apples and there's people that have some questionable incompetence, but in my opinion, that's by far the least of our concerns. And it's not to say that I'm not supportive of injured workers. Any one of you who know me and who has known me for the past 3 decades will know unequivocally that I only serve the interests of one group. That's the injured worker. No one else. But fair is fair, and my job here on this channel is to present the truth and the information that I get in the best way that I can to allow people to make their own decisions, whether it be with areas of entitlement, areas of law or policy, how to handle certain situations with the WSIB, appeals and all of that stuff. But make no mistake, this is all about money, and the WSIB hasn't said shit. They keep saying that we're going to continue to provide services to our most, important clients, the injured worker, Well, how can you do that when you have your staff on the picket line? You can't, right? You can't do that. But you haven't said anything else about what it is, really. So the unions come up right up front and they said, yes, this is what we want. But we haven't seen anybody from the WSIB really come out and say, well, we don't think we should give more money for this, that, or other reason. We don't think that you need more training. We don't think that your caseloads are too high, yada, 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 yada. But they stay with their fucking mouths shut. And so when they do that, people have to find out information. And I'm always digging because I hate these motherfuckers. The fat cats are the worst. And I'm always digging. And I'm always ready to share, right? Because at the end of the day, I don't believe anything they have to say. Not a damn word. You see, for the last 30 years, WSIB leadership has been feeding off the trough for the last 3 decades, right? They've had president and CEO salaries from anywhere from $400 to over $750,000 a year, right? For one fucking person. And there are 22 plus VPs and countless others that are just feeding off the trough, and they don't want to come clean because they know it's going to expose them for who they really are. They worked aggressively to recover or bring down the unfunded liability. They did that on the backs of injured workers by denying claims, denying entitlement, and all that, right? While in the meantime, their salaries keep going up. The overhead costs of the WSIB didn't grow out of proportion because of injured workers. There's a fund there that's supposed to look after injured workers. It grew out of proportion because of these leeches that are sucking and have been sucking the system dry, and their wasteful spending. And the fact that they have zero accountability whatsoever. And the union said, you know what? We're done. Good for you. But if you don't believe what I'm saying, and I'm sure you saw some of this in the thumbnail, I'm going to bring you some facts that are pretty alarming. We'll start with Jeff Lang, the president and CEO, who was hired a little over 3 years ago, right? His salary in 2022, as you can see here, was $409,000. In 2023, that salary went up to $451,000. I would say that's a little bit more than inflation. I think most would agree. In 2023, he didn't give himself a raise. His earnings were a little bit less than $48,000, just a little bit less, because I think he probably, for a single fucking second, grew a conscience and thought, you know, I'm going to let things just be the way they are, because I'm happy with my $500,000 or close to $500,000 a year, right? Now let's go to Gavin Pokan, right? Because they got lots of chiefs. They have lots of VPs as well, and I'll be getting into that. But today I'm going to talk about these chiefs, right? The chief fat cats. So Gavin Pokan, in 2022, he is earning $178,000 a year. That was 2022. In 2023, that went up to $338,000 a year, right? That's an increase of $160,000 in 1 year. And then in 2024, he went to $347,000. Another increase of $8,000 for the year. That a little bit higher than inflation? You tell me. Let's look at Janine Dyck, or Janine Dyck. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I tried both. One of them will probably be right. She's the Chief Employer Services Officer. In 2022, she was earning $305,000, which was a significant amount from 2021. But I'm just going to talk about the last 3 years, because that's when they apparently had a deal 3 years ago. In 2023, that went up to $349,000. So that's about $44,000 jump in salary in 1 year. Would that be above inflation? And then the next year, $362,000. So another $13,000 on top of her $302,000 when she or the $349,000 when she went into 2023 and needed a little bit more money. Let's look at Andrea McKinney, who's also a chief. She's a chief corporate services and technology officer. There's no data for 2022, but in 2023, she was earning $308,000, right? And then in 2024, it went up to $345,000. So it's a $36,000 increase from 1 year to the next. Moving along, let's look at Leif Malling, Chief Strategy and Risk Officer. In 2022, he was earning $235,507. 2023, he went up to $296,000. That was an increase of $61,000 between 2022 and 2023. And then from 2023 to 2024, his salary went up to $344,000, which makes it a $47,000 increase from 1 year to the next. Right? Chief Strategy and Risk Officer. Well, I think he should be doing this strategy and risk for these fucking chiefs, because none of them are worth that kind of money. It's out fucking outrageous. those kinds of salaries are generally seen in the private sector, and they're usually done based on performance. Anyway, so moving on to Anna Filice. She's the chief people officer, whatever the fuck that means, right? But apparently it pays very well, because as a chief people officer, she earned $282,000 in 2023, and then got a massive increase to $343,000 in 2024, which was $60,000 increase from one year to the next, right? I would say that is above cost of living, right? And then let's move on to Bruce Smith, the chief governance officer. I don't know what the fuck he's governing and why he's getting paid so much, but in 2022 or 2023, he was earning $231,000. And then from 2023 to 2024, there was an increase to $306,000 for a total increase for the year of $75,000, right? For the chief governance officer. Let's look at Aaron Thompson, the chief medical officer. In 2023, he was earning $232,000. In 2024, it went up to $336,000, an increase of $75,103. Actually, no, an increase of $103,315. I mixed that number up a little bit. They're all in the 300,000 levels, so I'm, yeah, you can see where I'm kind of, wanting to puke right about now with this. But let's keep going, because there's one more. Angela Powell, chief legal officer, right? In 2022, she earned $240,000. And in 2024, it went up to $409,264. A whole increase of $168,000 from one year to the next, right? I'd say that's a little bit higher than cost of living, right? So you got all of these people here, the fat cats, right? They're the leaders, right? They're the chiefs. They're all the chiefs. They're the top of the chain, right? All of these chiefs earning in excess of $300,000 each. Well over $2 million a year between these people. The union is looking for an increase in for inflation, right? I mean, training and reduce workload, so they need to hire more people. That's not gonna benefit any one of the union members who are on the picket line, right? That's not going to benefit them. It'll benefit from the standpoint that they'll be able to do their job better, less stress, but I'm talking from a monetary standpoint, right? That's not going to add anything to their salary. The only thing that they're claiming is to have increases to their salary that are at pace with the cost of living, which everybody gets. So you can't argue with that when you got these blood-sucking vermin, right, that have given themselves increases in excess of 20% annually, and in most cases, or in some cases, far greater than that. Come on, right? Like who? This is the real fucking world. You know, WSIB leaders, Jeff Lang, Gavin Pokan, and all of your collective underlings and the whole kaput shebang of the fat cat fucking studio, right? Because you probably have a place where you all go and, maybe you lick each other's paws and, groom each other and all of that crap to tell each other just how good a fucking job you're doing at screwing over the injured workers and screwing over your own fucking staff. Right? Right? Come on. Fuck off. Get back to work. Get these people back to work. Give them more people. Give them more training. Right? And get them back to work. Because you can't do the fucking job. You shouldn't even last another week in your job. If it were for me, you would all be gone. Because you're not part of the solution. You're part of the fucking problem. You are the problem.
We know that connecting with the right lawyer or paralegal to handle your case can be overwhelming. Do they have the expertise to handle your case? Do they have a good track record? Are they affordable? We've got you covered. Legal Pro Connect takes the guesswork out of finding the right legal provider. We've already done the vetting for you and connect you with the right lawyer or paralegal. With the expertise to handle your specific issue and at preferred rates, get connected today. Visit www.wsibsettlements.com.